Now we'll try to see the deployment part, like how we can deploy these kinds of projects on the cloud platform. If you want to learn any other cloud deployment, it is also fine. See, the process will remain same, only the cloud functionality would be different. So I'll try to create some more video on the deployment. Like I'll also show you how we can deploy these kinds of project on the GCP cloud, on the, let's say, the Azure cloud. But first of all, let's try to see how we can deploy this project on the AWS cloud. And see, this is not going to be a simple deployment. So here we'll be doing continuous integration and continuous delivery or deployment. That means CICD. So I think you have heard of this particular term called CICD, right? So we'll be learning how we can deploy this project as a CICD. I think you already know how to deploy any machine learning project, deep learning project as CICD, but we haven't seen how we can deploy any kinds of generative AI based project as a CICD, right? So that's why make sure you are watching this video till the end. So here I'm going to show you each and every step you have to follow. And trust me, if you follow this step, guys, you can use this step to deploy any kinds of, let's say, generative AI based project. Okay, and this is going to be production grade deployment. Okay, so here I'm going to use different kinds of service from the AWS. Even I'll be also using Docker. That means first of all we'll be dockerizing the entire source code, then we'll be deploying this application on the cloud platform. Okay, so make sure you are watching this video till the end. So before starting the deployment, guys, first of all, let me show you what exactly we're gonna perform here. What is CI/CD exactly? Then I will also discuss, let's say, what are the tools and technology we'll be using here, what are the services we'll be using here. Then I will start with the deployment, and make sure you have the AWS account. If you don't have the AWS account, guys, so you won't be able to deploy this project. So first of all, try to create one account. If you're creating for the first time, you will get $300 free credit. Okay, and this is enough for you. So try to create an account, guys. Then you can start with the deployment with me. So let's open up our Blackboard and try to see the architecture overview. So guys, as I already told you, here we'll be doing something called CI/CD deployment, right? And I already told you what is CI/CD full form. It's continuous integration, continuous delivery, or deployment, right? So inside continuous integration, continuous delivery, what happens? Let's say you are the developer. Okay, let's say you are the developer. So what is your task? Your task is to develop a project in the development, let's say, environment. So development environment means like your local system. Let's say you are using your laptop or computer. Let's say local computer. Okay, local computer. Fine. Then what we are doing, I think you remember, we are committing this code to the GitHub, right? We are doing the code management. I think you remember. That means whenever I was adding some new feature, I was pushing this code to the GitHub. Yes or no? Okay, with the help of Git client, we are pushing the code in the GitHub server. Now what happens actually, let's say after deployment. So this is called actually development server, or I can write this is actually development environment. Okay, development environment. So after implementing this project, what we have to do, we have to deploy this project, yes or no? Let's say somehow you have deployed this project on the AWS cloud. Let's say this is your AWS cloud. Fine. So let's say you have deployed this project to the AWS cloud manually. You just created a, let's say, instance there. You just took a machine there, a EC2 machine, and you manually deployed this project. Now it will give you some endpoint. Okay, endpoint. So with the help of this endpoint, any of the user can access your application. Now let's say after 4 months or let's say 6 months, you want to add some more features in this, let's say, application. Let's say you are deploying medical chatbot. The medical chatbot we implemented, I think you remember, right? Let's say you want to add some more data, you want to add some more knowledge base, and you want to add some more features in this application. Then what you have to do, you have to again develop this, let's say, features in your code. Then what you will be doing, again you will be deploying this application to the AWS cloud. Now just try to see, whenever you are deploying the project for the second time, let's say this is the first time you have deployed, then you are trying to deploy for the second time. Then what you have to do, first of all, you have to stop this application in the AWS. Okay, stop this application. Then you will be uploading your updated code. Then this code will reflect to the endpoint. Then user will be able to access that. Now let's say in between, whenever you stop this AWS server, let's say your application, let's say it took 3 hours. It took 3 hours to change the entire source code. That means change the entire features, okay, of your application. So what will happen? 3 hours user won't be able to access your application. So they will come your website and they will see server error. Okay, server error actually they will get. So if user is getting this kinds of experience, so definitely it would be a negative, let's say, effect okay, on your application. So next time actually they are not going to use your application. Yes or no? Let's say if ChatGPT is down for the let's say 3 hours, definitely people will move to the Google Bard or any other, let's say software, whatever actually we are having. Okay, so now see, ChatGPT is also updating their, let's say, application day by day. But did you ever observe this server is down? No, you are not seeing this server is down, but still they're able to make the changes in their application. How? Because they are following something called CICD approach, continuous integration, continuous delivery. That means this application is keep on running, but in the backend they're pushing their source code, they're pushing their, let's say, new features, and this feature is automatically getting updated. Okay, so this is called actually CICD. That means you are not going to deploy this application manually. Instead of that, what you have to do, you have to follow the CICD. That means what will happen, let's say you have changed something in your code, you will push the code to the GitHub. Okay, GitHub will automatically let's say deploy your code to the AWS cloud. It will automatically push your code to the AWS cloud, and your endpoint would be automatically updated. Okay, automatically updated, so that if user is using your application, okay, they won't be feeling any kinds of, let's say, server down issue. Okay, server down issue actually they won't be feeling. Got it? So this is what actually we have to do. That means we'll be creating the entire pipeline, entire, let's say, CI/CD pipeline. So we'll be just pushing the code in our GitHub, and GitHub will automatically trigger this action, and my code will update it to the AWS cloud, and AWS will update the endpoint. Okay, now see, the automated process we'll be doing. Now whenever we'll let's say push our code to the GitHub, GitHub will automatically trigger. How it will trigger? For this you have to use some CICD tool. Okay, CICD tool, CICD automation tool. So here there are different kinds of CICD tool. So the first tool you can use something called GitHub Action. Okay, GitHub Action you can use. Then you can use something called Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins. Then you can use something called Circle CI. Circle CI. So these actually 3 famous tools actually we are having in the market right now. So people are using more this GitHub Action, because GitHub Action you don't need to set up anything. It is already set up everything in the GitHub. But if you're using Jenkins and Circle CI, you have to set up this server manually. Okay, so here we'll be using GitHub Action because it is already inbuilt with the GitHub. We don't need to set up anything. Going forward, I will also show you how we can let's say use Jenkins, Circle CI. These are the services as well. Fine. So yes guys, this is the complete high level architecture of our deployment. Now let's discuss what are the services actually we'll be using for the deployment. See, here the first services actually I'm going to use called Docker. So I think you already know Docker. So Docker is a containerization service. So with the help of that, you can containerize your code. That means, let's say you are having a source code, you can perform the containerization. That means it will create a Docker image for you. Okay, so this image you can let's say keep anywhere. Let's say you can keep in the Docker hub, you can keep, let's say, in the ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. From there you can pull the image and you can execute this image. Okay, so if you are using Docker, so you won't be getting any kinds of setup issue. This is the main advantage here. Then we'll be using something called ECR here. ECR means Elastic Container Registry. So this is the service from the AWS. Okay, AWS giving this service. So here you can store any kinds of Docker image. It is the same like your Docker hub. Okay, but it is the service from the AWS. You can store the private image there, but in Docker hub actually all the image would be public. This is the difference only. Now we'll be using another service called EC2. Okay, EC2 is a virtual machine service from the AWS. Again, it is from the AWS. Okay, so this will give you virtual machine. There you can buy, let's say, CPU based machine, GPU based machine. Okay, so all kinds of configuration would be there. So here we are using our local computer. So there we'll be getting a cloud computer. Okay, this is the difference only. Then as a CI/CD tool, I'll be using something called GitHub Action, as I already told you. Okay, we'll be using GitHub Action for the CI/CD management. Fine. So yes guys, these are the services as of now I'm going to use. So let me show you the deployment step we'll be following. For this, what I have done guys, I think you remember we implemented one medical chatbot. This is the code, and this code would be also available in your resources section. Even you will also get this code in my GitHub. So guys, this is my GitHub profile. Just search ENT-BAPI in the Google, you will see my GitHub, and here I have created one repository called end-to-end medical chatbot. So I'm going to commit this code here, so you will get all the source code from this repository itself. Okay, and even I will also add the deployment step in the README file. So that is what actually I have written. You can see the entire deployment step I have written here. Now this is the CI/CD deployment we'll be following. So first of all, what I have to do, we have to let's say create a IAM user. Then we'll be creating the EC2 machine ECR. Okay, then we'll be, see, this is the deployment step as of now. Just try to follow the step I'm going to show you. First of all, we'll be building our so here first of all we'll be building the Docker image of our source code. That means Docker image we'll be implementing. Then we'll be pushing this Docker image to the ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry, to store my Docker image. Then we'll be pulling this image from ECR in the EC2. That means we'll be pulling that image in the EC2 machine in our virtual computer. Then we'll be launching this Docker image in my EC2 machine, and from there we'll be creating an endpoint, and that endpoint user will be able to access. Okay, and these are the policy I have to give whenever I will be creating the IAM user. Fine. So this is the entire step, guys, I have written. Even I've also given all the command you need to execute here. Now let's start the deployment, guys. But before that, you just need to prepare some of the files. The first file you have to prepare the Docker file. So this file will help you to containerize entire your application. That means it will perform the Dockerization. And these are the Docker command you have to write. So I think you remember we are using Python 3.10. Okay, this Python version. That's why I have taken Python 3.10 Slim Bastard image. Then working directory, it will create a working directory called app. Inside that, it will copy all the source code. Then it will install the requirements. Okay, whatever requirements actually we are having here. Got it? Then it will execute this Python 3 app.py command. So that means my endpoint would be executed. Okay, my application would be running. And make sure before actually deployment, you just store your index, okay, in the Pinecone. So this is the Pinecone, guys. It is running, and all the vector is already stored here. You can see 7020 actually record is already stored here. So I already executed this file. I think you remember store index. So it will create all the, let's say, vector embedding, and it will store in the Pinecone. Okay, Pinecone vector database. So in this project, I was using Pinecone. I think you remember. Okay, so this should be available here. Got it? So once it is available, now what I have to do, guys, then you can create another file called Docker ignore. Inside Docker ignore, you can mention like some of the file which is not required. Let's say here this file is not required. Let's say I think this file is not required. Generative AI project.egginfo. Okay, so whenever it will perform the, let's say, containerization, that means Dockerization. So I don't need this folder. That time what you can do, you can mention this folder name in the Docker ignore file. It is the same thing as your git ignore. So it is already mentioned inside my git ignore. That's why I haven't mentioned inside my Docker ignore. Docker ignore is completely empty. As of now, I need all the file. That's why I haven't keep anything here. Now let's say if you want to ignore any kinds of file which is not required, that time you can store these other file inside Docker ignore. Okay, that's the thing. Now the next things you have to create. You have to create one folder called .github. Okay, inside that you have to create one folder called workflows. Inside that you have to create one YAML file. You can give any name. Here I have given CICD.YAML. Okay, now see, this is the complete YAML file. So this YAML file will help me to do the CICD deployment. Okay, that means here it will be using something called GitHub Action. Okay, and GitHub Action need this YAML file. So here all the command is already written. So first of all, you will see that it will perform continuous integration. Inside continuous integration, it will authenticate with my AWS account. Okay, then it will log in with my ECR. Then whatever, let's say, Docker image actually will be building, you will push that image to the ECR. Okay, that means Elastic Container Registry. Then your continuous deployment will start. Again, it will authenticate with AWS account. Then it will pull that, let's say, image from your ECR to EC2 machine. Then it will execute it here. And here all the environment variable I have set. You can see -e means this is the environment variable. See, AWS access key, AWS secret key. I'll tell you how to generate. These are the key. Then a Pinecone API key, OpenAI API key, everything I have set here. Okay, so these are the thing we'll be reading from the secret. Okay, GitHub secret. I'll tell you how to create the GitHub secret as well. So as of now, just try to remember this is the YAML file you have to use for the CICD. And this YAML file you can use as it is. No need to change anything in your other project as well. Okay, that's the thing. Now let's open up our AWS account. So guys, this is my AWS account. I already logged in with my AWS account. So here, so first of all, what you have to do, you have to create a IAM user. So let's create a IAM user. So IAM. So the first thing we'll be creating one user here. So let's create one user. I'll create a user. So let's say username is, I'll give medical bot. You can give any name. It's up to you. So let's click on next. Now you have to give policies. Okay, like what are the policy you want to give in this user? I don't want to give my entire policy. That means all the services I don't want to give the access. So I'll be giving some specific access. So access wise, I already written in the README file. Let me show you. So these are the access I'll be providing. My EC2 container registry full access and EC2 full access. Okay, these are the thing we'll be giving. So here just search it. So this is the ECR. Okay, ECR Elastic Container Registry full service here I'm giving. So let's select. And after that, again, I can delete it. Then I'll try to copy the next service. This is the service. Okay, this is the EC2 machine service. So again, search here and select the EC2 machine and click on the next. Now you'll see that I have given this two service. Okay. Next thing, just create the user. So right hand side, you can see one button is there, create user. Just click on create user. So guys, as you can see, my user has created. Now I'll click on the user. Then here you will get one option, security credential. Just click here. Then you have to create a access key. So click on create access key, select command line interface. And I understand this above recommendation and click on the next. So there is a next button, just click on the next. Now create the access key here. Now see guys, this is your access key and secret access key. Try to download as a CSV file. So let's download. So and just keep it with you. Okay, this thing I need later on. Okay, and no need to share this key with anyone, otherwise they will also access your AWS account. Okay, so here I'm showing because after the recording I'll delete everything. Got it? So my IAM creation is done. Now I'll go back to the home page. Now the next thing what I have to do guys, I have to create a ECR repository to store my Docker image. So let's search for ECR. So just search for ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. Just open it up and make sure you check your region, in which region you are working. See, I'm working in Mumbai, AP South 1. If you're in other region, just try to note it down. Okay, you have to note it down, this syntax actually, AP South 1, then CA Central 1. If you're, let's say, in North Virginia, you have to give US East 1. So just try to remember these are the tag. Okay, so I'm inside Mumbai, that means AP South 1. Now I'll be creating a Elastic Container Registry. So let's create, so let's click there. Now you have to give the name. Let's say I'll give medical chatbot. You can give any name, it's up to you. Everything keep it as default. Now click on next. Now see, my repo is created. Now what you have to do, just copy the URI and just try to paste it as of now here, because this thing I need later on. Just for reference, I'm saving it here. Okay. That's it. Now what I will do, I will go back again. Now the next thing I have to do, I have to create my EC2 machine. Then I have to set up, these are the requirements. Okay, that means I have to set up the Docker there. Then I will be also updating that machine. So let's create my EC2 machine right now. So search for EC2 here, EC2 instance. So this is the EC2 service. Now launch the instance. Now select the Ubuntu machine. And what you have to do, give the name of the machine. Let's say medical bot machine. You can give anything. Then see, instance type, you have to take at least 8 GB RAM. 8 GB RAM, just take 8 GB RAM. I'll be taking T2 large. Okay, this machine. And then select the key value pair. If you don't have the key value pair, you can also create it. So let's say I'll give medical. So it will create one RSA file. So guys, you can see after creating and download, it will give you one PEM file. So this PEM file you can use. Let's say if you're using any third-party tool to connect with your EC2 machine, let's say Putty or Mobile Extreme, that time you can use this PEM file. But I'm going to launch my, let's say, machine in my second tab with the help of AWS only. I don't need this PEM file. Okay. So now I'll select these two options, HTTPS and HTTP. Keep it everything as default. Configuration storage at least take, let's say, 30 GB. And launch the instance right now. So here you can see, click on view all instance. Then see, my machine is running. So if status is running, now click on the machine ID. Now here you have to connect this machine. So click on the connect button. Now I'll be selecting the EC2 connector and let's connect the machine. So it will create a new tab for me. So here I will get one terminal, black terminal. So we have to use this terminal to set up everything here. And this is the production server, guys. Okay, that's how your production server looks like. See, this is the production server. Let me zoom. Now let me clear. See, here you won't be getting any kinds of UI interface. Okay, that means the way we are using our computer, it is having UI. But in the production server, you won't be getting any kinds of UI. You have to work with the terminal always. And this is the Linux terminal I got. This is the Linux machine, guys. So that's why if you know any kinds of Linux command, it will help you a lot. Got it? So here, first of all, I have to update this machine. For this, you have to execute these at the command one by one. So let's copy all the command one by one. Okay, so this is done. Now I'll copy the next command and just try to paste here. Now give yes permission and press enter. Okay, so execution is completed. Now I have to set up the Docker in the EC2 machine. So this is the command you have to run. Copy the next one and execute. Then I will execute this one, then the last command. So we have to add the Docker in the sudo group. Okay. Now if it is running or not, so what you can do, you can execute one command, docker ---- version. So if it is showing the version, that means Docker is installed successfully. Now we have to set up our self-hosted runner. EC2 as our self-hosted runner. That means we have to connect our GitHub. Okay, you can see this is the GitHub. Now this is our project GitHub. So this GitHub I have to connect with my AWS. That means whenever user will, whenever let's say developer will push the code in the GitHub, it will automatically get updated to the AWS, okay, AWS cloud. So for this, what I have to do, I have to go to my project. Make sure you you committed your repository in your GitHub and go to the settings, okay. Go to the settings. Now here, left hand side, you will see one option called action. Just click on the action, click on the runners. Now create a new self-hosted runner. Now select the Linux machine and you have to execute. These are the commands. So let's copy this command one by one and let me execute here. So it will automatically make the connection with your GitHub. Let me show you. Then the third command. Then fourth command. Now you have to go to the configuration section and copy this command and execute it here. Now see GitHub action, it will automatically connect. Now it will see it has connected to the GitHub. Now it is asking for enter the name of the runner group. I don't want to give anything, press enter. Now it is asking enter the name of the runner. So here you have to give self-hosted. Okay, self-hosted. This is the thing you have to give. If you're giving another thing, it won't be working. Okay, make sure you're giving self-hosted. Now let's press enter. Now keep it everything default, just press enter again. Then again press enter. Now see, it is done. Now the last command we have to execute, this one. And you can ignore this one, it is not required. Now see, it would be connected with my GitHub. See, connected to the GitHub, listening for the jobs. Okay. Now if I show you, if I come back and now if I go to the runners, let's say, I'll go to the runners. Now see, status should be idle. You can see it is connected. Okay. Now the next thing what I have to do, I have to set up all the GitHub secrets. Okay. Now let's go back to the secret. So secret variable, click on the action. Now new repository secret. Now give the secret ID. Okay. So for the first ID I have to give AWS access key ID. Just copy and give the key name here. And where you will get the value, I think remember we downloaded one CSV file. So let me open this CSV file. I will open in a Notepad++, and this is my AWS access key ID. I'll copy, and here let me paste it. Then the next one I have to give secret access key ID, copy, and create another new repository secret and give it here. And in the CSV file, you will get the next one. See, it is comma separated. So before the comma, this is the AWS key ID, access key ID, and after the comma, this is the secret access key ID. So let me copy the secret access key ID and I will paste it here. Okay, now the next thing you have to give AWS default region. So region, I already told you I'm inside Mumbai, that means AP South 1. So I think remember I'm inside AP South 1. See, AP South 1, you have to write it. So let's write AP -South. Okay, -1, AP South 1. Let's try to check AP South 1. AP South 1. Okay, fine. Now let me add it. Now the next thing I have to add my ECR repo. So ECR repo wise, I think you remember we copied one URL. So just try to get this name only. Okay, after .com, just try to get the name and try to mention here. Then the next thing I have to set my Pinecone API key. So let's copy and add it here. And I think I remember in my .env file, I had my Pinecone API key. Let's copy. And this is not available inside my GitHub. That's why I'm reading from the GitHub secret. Okay, this is the idea. Now I also need to add my OpenAI secret. Okay, that means OpenAI API key. The last one, you can see OpenAI API key. Let's add it. So let's copy the OpenAI API. Here I'm going to paste it. Now let's add the secret. Okay, now see, everything is added. Now let me see anything is left. No, everything I have added. Now what I have to do, I have to push the changes. Okay, but before that, let me get back to my project. Now I'll push the changes. So just try to commit. To commit, just open up your git bash and try to write this command, git add space dot, then git commit -m let's say CICD edit, then git push origin main. Now if I go back to my GitHub, now see, if I refresh here, so it will start running my action. Now just go to the action. Now see, my action is running. See, first of all, it is running the continuous integration. So inside continuous integration, first of all, it will authenticate with my AWS ECR, build the Docker image, push it to the ECR. Okay, everything will happen. See, automatically. It's just a one-time setup, guys. Next time, you don't need to set up it. You just need to write the code and push it to the GitHub. Automatically, it will push to the, let's say, AWS server. Okay, now see. So let's wait. Once this execution is completed, I will come back. So guys, as you can see, my continuous integration is completed. Now it is running the continuous deployment. Now what it will do, it will again authenticate with my AWS cloud, and it will pull that image from the ECR to EC2 machine. And if you go to the Elastic Container Registry right now, and if you refresh here, you will see the image. Okay, see, Docker image is been uploaded here. Now see, it is running the deployment. Now see, it is pulling the image. So once it is pulled, then we'll doing the port mapping. We'll create the endpoint, and we can access our application. Let me show you. So guys, as you can see, my execution is completed. That means both integration and deployment is executed. If you're not getting error, that means congratulations, it's done. Now I will go back to my EC2 machine. Okay. Now here in the EC2 machine, you will get one public IP address. Just let me show you. So this is the public IP address. Just try to copy and just try to open it. Okay. Now see, if I open it up, so it won't be opening because see, my application is running on port number 8080. I think you remember. Okay, so by default port number 8080 is not set. So I have to do the port mapping. So what I have to do, I'll go back, go to the instance. This is my instance. Then I'll go to the security. Okay. Now here you will see one option called security group. Just click here. Now on top you will see edit inbound rules. Okay, just try to click here. Now I'll just add the rules. Custom TCP port number, just give 8080. Just select 000. Okay. And here you will see save rules. Okay, just click on the save rules. That's it. Okay, so rules has been added. Now I'll go to the instance again. I'll open it up. Now I'll copy the public IP address again, and here let me paste. Now you have to give clone port number 8080. Now see, if I hit enter, my application should be running. See guys, this is my chatbot is running. Now if I give any message, let's say what is acne. See guys, it is giving me the response. Now see, my application is live right now. So it is already deployed. Now user can use my applications. Now what you can do, you can buy a domain, okay, your custom domain, and you can publish this application to the audience. Okay. Now for the second time, let's say you changed anything in the code. Let's say you added some more function. What you have to do? Only just need to commit the changes. It will automatically get updated here. Fine. So no need to set up anything from scratch. It's just a one-time setup. Once setup is completed, just try to commit the changes, it will automatically running. Okay, now you can ask me, if I close this terminal, will it work? Yes, definitely we can close it. Let's say I will close this terminal. Now if I again go to the chatbot, if I refresh, see, still my bot is running. Okay, so that's how guys we can do the CI/CD deployment. Now let me show you how we can terminate all the instance, like whatever instance we created, if you don't want to keep it running, otherwise it will charge you, right? So what I can do, first of all, I will stop the EC2 machine I've created. So select the machine, click on the instance state and terminate. So terminate will delete it. Okay, so it will terminate and delete the instance. Then after that, I also need to delete my ECR. So let's go to the ECR. So first of all, delete the image inside that. Just write the delete command. Now try to select and delete. Okay, then what I have to do, I have to delete the then I will also delete my I'm user. Okay, the I'm user I created. User, let's select and try to delete it. Medical chatbot I have to write here, so let me copy and let me delete it. See, everything is deleted. Now nothing will charge you. Okay, so guys, that's how we can perform the deployment, and this is the code. You can use this code as it is. Okay, the code actually have shared. So yes guys, this is all about and I hope you liked it. So thanks for watching guys.